So, hello everyone, dear friends. Greetings from China to everyone. Ni hao. Today we will have a review of a very beautiful sporty crossover from the company Voyah. This is our fully electric CV. Externally it looks sporty. Yes, there are no questions here. But how it drives and what they offer in this, today we will figure out. So make yourselves comfortable, friends. Let's go, let's go. Start. Let's look at the exterior, then we'll move on to the interior. In terms of appearance, of course, here, in my opinion, it succeeded in terms of size. In length, it is more than 5 meters. Width is almost 2 meters. Wheelbase is exactly 3 meters. And the height is 1,656 millimeters. By the way, the engineers made 10 active air ducts here. In this section, the air passes then through this part. From here, it also comes out. And also from this section, then further. Here, the air passes, then also the spoiler. Therefore, in aggregate, all this affects the aerodynamics. Here it is, by the way. Not bad, 0.24 CD. And again, this affects the range. If you pay attention lately, what cars are coming out from competitors, the first exciting trend we get is, this is the Xiaomi company. The car, SU7, Luxeed S7. Since this is our fully electric SUV, let's see, we have a front trunk of 80 liters. Here, they indicate there is a knock function. Please, then we open it ourselves. It is small, of course. Well, in principle, overall, you can put some wires, chargers. You can also rinse it. The water drains out. Here, the heat and noise insulation are all rubberized. They did a pretty good job in principle. And let's look at the main optics. That is, it cannot close by itself, but there are these door closers. It has just pressed it. An animation occurs. The logo lights up. The main optics itself is located quite well here. Here is a diffuser, like this, such a big lip, looks sporty, frameless, mirrors, and by the way, our doors are also frameless. Double glass, both in front and in back. They did everything well, completely covered everything. This part is also covered here. We can additionally open the door here, or by pressing this key. There are no automatic doors. Our tires are Yokohama. 255 by 50, as much as 21. Yes, by the way, they are. Therefore, from them, there should be much less noise. Double wishbone in front, multi-link in back, single chamber air suspension, adaptive shock absorbers, CDC system, all this again. There's fast and slow charging here, 800-volt electrical system. You can replenish the charge in literally 10 minutes. In principle, again, not bad. Good performance. In Chinese, it is called Jiwe, or 1S. So let's look at the trunk right away. Well, in this state, we have 584 liters here. There is additionally a small organizer here. And if we fold the second row, then there is 1,744 liters. There is a 220-volt socket, and we can also lower the air suspension. There are hooks lighting on both sides. There is also an additional rubber band here. And you can also install a curtain here. And basically that is it. Everything works right away. Mechanism. Door closers for all doors. By the way, the door itself is quite heavy. The seat is soft, really comfortable. Very good cushions. I also have an ottoman. Zero gravity of the two seats. And there is also massage here. So let's adjust the steering wheel, its settings. By the way, here is a minus. Yes, they save money. There are paddle shifters. There is an additional mount. In principle, we already know who they borrowed this from. Own audio system from Voyah company, 27 speakers. In principle, the sound is not bad. Here is what I like here. The fact that here they integrated this display into the panel. Well done. Here in the very same Xiaomi car, this is now the new Skyworth. Damn, it seems like everything looks not bad, beautiful. But as for the interior, again, this floating display, as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh damn, why do it like this? Well, it is ugly. Here is a small compartment like this. By the way, ordinary, just plastic, not lined with anything. By the way, there's no main glove compartment here. There. We just have legroom.
And also, friends,
2 days before the official presentation, the company Voyah showed an interesting video. Such a trick, I remember, was done in a commercial for a Mercedes S-LS AMG driven by Schumacher. Flipping upside down 360 degrees. It is very dangerous. Speaking of safety, then Voyah Passion has a body stiffness, torsional stiffness of 48,450 Newton meters per degree. The indicator is very good.
Why does it charge it with ventilation?
Two cup holders, and we also have a refrigerator. It cools, heats. Well, in general, look, the thermal box has already cooled down well. Well, by the way, it is well made. The construction is decent. Doesn't squeak, doesn't make noise. Here is a small niche. No smells. There are charging ports. Type-Cs. Also a hook here, a dual display. Well, again, let's remember, for example, the Li Auto company. Trendsetters. They were the first to make such a dual display, and everyone else, Chinese or not Chinese, the Japanese, Nissan, Mazda, all do the same thing. Set the trend, and it would seem, yes, a startup. But here's the company, Lixiang. It is the first to deliver its cars to all dealerships and let people test, try out this active suspension. But the company Aito, they declare it. They also show it. They showed all this at the presentation. More extra cars. Now here is the Stellato S9, also with active suspension. But in reality, so far, how many times have we visited the Aito M9? It's still not there. A car for a test drive with active suspension. There's a regular dual chamber air suspension there. So in this regard, I would still give the advantage to the company Lixiang, but they are really doing great, going very well. So a large HUD projection display. Here we have the air, all signs, augmented reality, arrows, maps, navigation. They show you everything. The projection here is good, solid pass. Regular mirror, no display. Then further, a large panorama. There is a sunshade. Well, something like microfiber, and also a mirror. Here we can adjust the headrest. Here's the seat. I like the design. It looks very sporty, cool. There's ambient lighting, speakers. I would probably still like the side support to be more developed to hug you, because it has such a sporty look after all. Okay, let's look at the back. I'll sit behind myself in the second row. Well, listen, there's a lot of space. There's also space underneath where you can put your feet. Armrest, two cup holders, a small compartment for a phone, for small items. I can tilt the backrest forward, backward. This kind of lamp, when you install it, it charges up right there. Then you can adjust the brightness. Take it with you, say, to a camping trip. So, ventilation, heating, and climate. We configure everything here from this display. Right here we have a button. When pressed, the front passenger seat will fold. Yes, it fully extends there and folds down like this. And let's look at the display itself, at the multimedia. In principle, it is all the same, completely the entire interface from Huawei. We have already seen all this many times. So here we of course have the English language. You can immediately change all the angles. Everything can also be viewed, and the 3D picture is available to us. Then next we will go into the settings, the most frequently used functions. The refrigerator cools down to -6, heats up to 50 degrees. Ambient lighting can be customized for yourself, any color depending on the mood, and it can also be synchronized with music. Driving modes, launch, eco, comfort, performance. Everything can be switched to sport. Configure everything, lower or raise the suspension. Well, the autopilot here. Of course, we have the most advanced LiDAR. There are 4 LiDARs here, and the main one is 896 lines. Therefore, all small objects, all these sensors, radars on the sides. The car sees everything around it. And of course, for China, the autopilot, this is level L3. Well, this is exactly what the Chinese consumer needs. Well, of course, Huawei does everything well. Heated steering wheel, heating and ventilation of the first and second row. First row massage and zero gravity is also available for the first row. And another point, by the way, interesting, when we hold down 2 paddles here, we get this kind of sound. And also as indicated here, according to this inscription, that the rear window can be dimmed. So let's see what it is made of. So it shows as much as 172. The front hood is aluminum. Next, the body is galvanized. Here is zinc, and here it is not metal. In the standard position, 18 centimeters. But if you raise it as high as possible, 21 centimeters. So let's set it up for ourselves. I'll say right away that we've been riding different versions for several days now. On the all-wheel drive version right now we are driving, and also on the 2WD version. 2WD doesn't have air suspension there. There's only one electric motor there. Of course, 408 horsepower. Well, it accelerates slowly. We didn't even try that because it doesn't go at all. And the all-wheel drive version is good, very dynamic. Here we have single chamber air suspension, 646 horsepower, and it drives much better already. Much more interesting, just way more interesting. And it feels completely different. Of course, if you buy it, then the all-wheel drive version. As for the price, they haven't announced it yet. On August 15th, they will announce it, I assume, since the 2WD version is completely empty there, then most likely 200,000. My assumption, we'll see on the 15th. But the top version, as of today, they claim 309,900. As for me, the car is definitely not sporty. It is tuned for comfort, but the appearance is very interesting. Here is such a completely broken road. Usually in my Lixiang, when I drive here, everything just rattles and clatters. But here it is just quiet, pleasant, calm, you can talk quietly. The sound insulation is very good. I liked it, it feels very cool. But in comfort mode, it is not bad in principle. The color palette is very cool. There are bright colors there, both red and this kind of burgundy color is also very beautiful. There's a bright yellow color. The maximum battery version is 98.1 kilowatt hours, range of 720 kilometers according to the Chinese CLTC cycle. And if we talk about the 2WD version, the battery is smaller there. There it is, 89 kilowatt hours, and the range accordingly is only about 600 kilometers. Here, of course, yes. Another difference of the 2WD version is that it doesn't have these paddles. Accordingly, we won't be able to play around. But here we have two paddles. We hold them down, and this simulation of this engine turns on. The sound is cool. Well, we'll try it a bit later. If we talk about the competitor like the Xiaomi SU7, then, of course, well, I would definitely choose the Xiaomi. It starts from 220,000 yuan for the most basic, also for the simplest version. But the maximum version of Xiaomi there, let's say if we talk about the max version, it costs 340,000 yuan, which is more expensive. Now, if we talk about the GT version, it already costs 400,000 yuan. By the way, the visibility is very good. And I see that everyone is staring. The car is beautiful. The appearance, yes, it turned out really well. So sporty. I like it myself too. .4 seconds. We hold down two pedals. The sound appears. And we can shift, and we get a simulation of gear shifting. And when we say downshift the gear, it is as if our RPMs go up. Turned it all off, immediately silence in the car. And it is nice and comfortable to drive for such a design. For such shapes, you'd probably want it to be faster. 4 LiDARs in total, plus the LiDAR on the roof, 896 lines. So yes, all this, we know this, millimeter wave radars, 12 HD cameras, and parking sensors all around from Huawei. They are, after all, the market leaders. We also have a large panoramic roof, so we can also adjust the steering wheel so that it would be heavier or standard position. Then we can make the brakes more responsive, lower the suspension to the lower position, and recuperation. Let's look at all the conveniences again. There is a fridge here, ventilation, heating, massage, heated steering wheel, everything. All of this is just here. So let's see on a turn. Well, it rolls. Of course, for example, if we talk about the Xiaomi GT version, it doesn't roll at all. It holds really well on the road, but here it is still more roll prone. But this is a civilian car. It is not sporty, just a beautiful appearance, nothing more. Here the recuperation is not strong. Recuperation is not strong, but quite a bit stronger than, say, on a Lexian. And let's check the noise isolation. So on average 57, 58 decibels. Well, good noise isolation. We have a cool built-in instrument panel double display. Well, of course I would like there to be one fancy display. HUD head-up display, and the visibility is very cool. Our mirrors are frameless like this. All the images of side zones to the left and right. When we turn it on, all of this is displayed. And by the way, the most important thing about the battery is that it is not from Cattle. It is some other company. I think it is some joint production with Voyah. Therefore, I assume that they saved money on the battery here. Because Cattle is such a tech giant, they are, well, just leaders in battery production and again, in safety. I would trust the Cattle company more. So now I've turned on the autopilot. Let it turn around by itself. We'll see. Look, I'm not pressing anything, not doing anything. The car turns around by itself, confidently in principle. And then it already drives according to the set navigation. When they just opened pre-orders for the car, in an hour, more than 10,000 pre-orders have already been made. And also here, by the way, there's an interesting option. You can different words here, different phrases that are already built into the database here. There are speakers outside. There are different phrases there, like, hey, let's add to the chat. Or cross the road. Or what are you? You look, there are all sorts of interesting phrases like that. In general, it is funny. If, of course, all this is Russified, then it would be cool in principle if they sell the car for 280,000 yuan. Here, the maximum configuration. I think there is a place for a very good, well, it holds the road and recuperation is already felt here. If in this mode, like this. And also let's look, we have a car for the test drive. The maximum version here is the paid option. This is immediately a carbon package, carbon fiber. The spoiler is also made of carbon. Here we also have carbon inserts. Also the seat belt, it already comes with this stitching. Orange, and these places here are also carbon. The Chinese team is responsible for the design here. They were inspired by the Ferrari Purosangue car. Of course, incomparable cars, but nevertheless, the design turned out very well, very decent. But in terms of handling, of course, yes, it is still not a sports car. Exactly. If compared with the Xiaomi GT car, it seems to me these are completely incomparable, but this car is still more sort of civilian and it is softer. Well, that is all, dear friends. Thanks to everyone who watched this video review to the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. More to come. See you. Bye.